live. Hey, Katherine, welcome to the Backyard Horse Enthusiast. I'm so happy to have you here to share with us your knowledge, your expertise of the healing work that you are doing for our beautiful equine partners. So tell us about what it is that you're doing, what you look for when you're doing this therapy for them.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for finding me so that I can explain about some of the things that I like to do with horses. And it's great to be able to talk about it and share it with other people. So I do a combination of Bowen therapy, myofascial unwinding. I throw in some Masterson method in there. I do craniosacral. I do a little bit of massage, and some trigger point therapy. So it just depends on what I see in the horse and what it needs. Depends on what it is that I'm going to use that day. But I look at the horse and so I look at the horse differently than maybe some people do, but I look at the shape of the horse. Horses can have a short leg, just like people can. Certain shapes can mean certain things, like a higher wither on one side and a lower one on the other means different things. And so with what I do, and I also use some meridian therapy as well. So I always assess the horse. So it is going to put the horse back into balance. So some tensegrity there, because if you think of the shapes, we're all three-dimensional. And if one muscle is tight, it's going to be pulling on something else and it's going to be pulling it out of shape. So in order to get the best movement out of your horse is you have to look at all of those biomechanics, how each muscle affects another muscle going into another muscle, and something at the back can definitely affect something at the front, and something at the front can always affect the hind end as well. And something that maybe some people forget about is that there is also the tail. And the tail is an extension of the spine. So, you know, I do some work on it as well if it's needed.
Okay, thank you. So are you a certified practitioner? And if so, where did you get your certification or certifications from? If you might share that with us.
Yeah, so I am certified and insured as well, which I think is very important to have. So I'm certified in animal Bowen therapy, which I got from the Canadian Bowen Association, Animal Association in Ontario. I did holistic horse works for Equine, which was really good because it helped with understanding some of the physics and the biomechanics of the horse. And I did that here in Ontario as well, but she's based out of the United States. I've done some tensegrity training through Tammy Elkamine, and she's out of the States as well. And some of the stuff I've just picked up, like the Masterson method, I don't have a certificate in it, but between all of the other therapies that people have put together, they use a lot of each other's findings. And I did the trigger point out of Ontario as well. So I'm certified in all of that. I'm also a Reiki master. So I can do Reiki on the horses as well. And that again, I learned here in Ontario. So yeah.
Cool. And horses can do Reiki on humans, which is really
yes,
cool.
they can.
My Gestalt
for sure.
Work, for sure. We partner with them to like clear chakras and move energy around because they're such
that's right.
amazingly powerful
That's
Extra
right.
movers. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But they get stuck thanks to us. Or
Yeah.
injuries,
So,
not that aren't necessarily our fault, but they could. I mean, I had my mare do a cartwheel, look like a somersault, and she needed to be adjusted because she did a number on herself many years ago.
exactly. So I'm also a human bone therapist and a
Oh,
myofascial
wow.
therapist for humans. And so I like to consider myself an equine rider kind of specialist because I think the two of them really need to go together
Mm-hmm.
because our bodies mirror the horse and the horse mirrors our body. So especially people, like anybody needs it really, but competitors for sure, if they want their horse moving and going its best, they should be as balanced as their horse is. So, there's sometimes you'll see people and their one stirrup is up higher than the other because one leg is feeling like it's too long and or it's, and they raise it up, but that's because your body is out.
Sure. That makes
Right?
perfect sense. Perfect
Yeah.
sense. Now, poor horse who is I mean, they can feel a fly land on them. And here we are, not quite balanced. And they've got to make up for that. And that must put undue pressure on different joints and muscles. And oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it creates compensating patterns as well, right?
Sure.
For both of us. So
absolutely.
and I often find that people will put things down to behavior, and I think a lot of times it's because the horse is in pain and they need to get some therapy done. But sometimes as owners, we want that quick fix, and a lot of times people just have to get into if you're going to do body work, you should be doing it more than once, because one time will never fix anything.
Right.
For people, horses, dogs, it doesn't matter what it is, right?
Well, if we injure ourselves, we don't go to physical therapy one time and say, oh, thank you, I'm done, I'm good forever. No, they're like 6 months out of physical therapy,
That's right.
That's right for that. But for sure, especially in this world, the competitive world, or just based on ignorance, people do think it's a one-time fix, or they need it to be. And that's why, a lot of illegal things happen to horses and not so nice things happen to horses because there's money on the line. These horses cease to be the beautiful creatures that they are and just become a means to someone's end. And, I think doing all, my horses were up until recently getting once a month electromagnetic therapies done, and chiro and massage, and they're not even ridden, I might add. They're four little backyard pasture pets. That's she's always like, when I retire, I want to retire here.
Yeah.
It's all
lucky
about
horses.
Yeah, it's about their comfort, and they let me know in very subtle ways if something's a little off. I mean, we're that in tune with each other, but you could offset a potential huge injury, I think, if you read the signs, hear, see, feel into what your horse is trying to tell you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You look on their face, their eye, the way their ear, the way they hold themselves. I mean, gosh darn it, we need more people like you. Like, we need people like you in every single county, everywhere, that we can have easy access to. So in that regard, like, are you on, I'm sure you have a website, which we will share in the description box. We will share all your information so I can get it out to everyone. Do you have, like, is there this therapy that you do they have a master website where if you're looking for Katherine or someone like Katherine in your area, where you can go and find someone that does this?
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
Yeah. not for all of the different courses that I've taken for certificates. So
Okay.
unfortunately not.
Well,
But I do have a website. So and all the information is on there about what all the different things that I do. So yeah, so it's there, and I have a Facebook page as well. So
share that.
I try and get out, share my stuff as much as I can so that people can see that there are other options out there.
Very important.
Right? Because I believe in, not masking things with medicine and trying to see if we can find the root problem, right? Where is the issue coming from? And if we can get to the root issue, then, chances are we're going to be able to fix it. And then, like you said, I also agree with maintenance. Like, it's a good idea to keep the maintenance up because, horses, they roll on rocks, they kick their hips up, they might throw something out here and there. They might pull back. So they get headaches just like us.
Oh, absolutely. All it takes is and I don't use cross ties with my horses. My horses we do a lot of stuff on Liberty. They're veterinarian visits, farrier visits, everything is at Liberty, but they're great. They're so relaxed not being in cross ties because I think horses feel claustrophobic in cross ties. And two, I've seen horses do that pull back and damage their poles. And what happens then? It just travels. Then you've got all kinds of issues if you don't take care of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I find these therapies, they're just fantastic. I got into Bowen for the animals because I first got my certificate for Bowen for people. And once I seen what a great therapy it was, I knew that I wanted to do the horse side as well, because that's where I've always wanted to been, was working with horses. And so that's where it led. And then it's just one course after another course, just continuous learning, right? Continuous.
You're a junkie.
Always.
You're a serial learner. We love it. Our horses love it. We're grateful for people like you. Truly, truly.
Absolutely.
And these are the things that I, as the host of this channel, want to share with people. Come on, let's start here before we start throwing medication after medication that's only going to have other side effects. And
that's right.
You're right with the maintenance part. My horses are so happy getting all their treatments, therapies. I shouldn't call them treatment. They're just therapies for them.
Therapies.
Next. And then nobody wants to leave and go back out to the pasture. They're like, no, you can do me longer. I like you. I have very strange horses that think they're people, I swear. I'm not a woo-woo weirdo, but I am very connected to my beautiful babies.
That's wonderful.
I have to ask you, Katherine, at what age did your love for these beautiful creatures begin?
Oh, I think as soon as I was born.
Yeah.
My dad got me my first ponies when I was about 5.
Oh.
So I've been with horses for like over 50 years. So yeah.
Okay, I relate. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, and do you currently have any?
I do. I have 2 quarter horses. And I have a mini mule. So both my horses are, I do cattle sorting or ranch sorting with them to compete, and just absolutely love it. I did all the pleasure show stuff when I was younger, and I found this, and it's a great sport.
I'll bet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it's something that you can actually use versus just getting in a ring and riding around and walk, jog, loop, reverse,
absolutely. I like it because, well, it's supposed to the idea behind it was to replicate what they do on an actual ranch,
Sure.
right?
Wow.
So, yeah, it's fun. It's very social, and you meet a lot of great people. So that's what I do in my spare time.
Do you have any of that? You sound
Well, it's
quite
becoming
busy.
limited. It's becoming limited, that's for sure.
Oh, amen. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Wow. So you do that. I hope that you will send me pictures. Did you? I have some, like I have. Hang on.
Yeah, I will. I promise I'll try and get out there with my video camera. I can't say that it's going to be the best, but I know that you'll be able to fix it.
Oh yeah. And
So for instance, this picture here. So if you look
yeah,
at the one from, it's too big for me to see.
July 27th is on the right and August 2nd is on the left.
Yeah. So I can't see. Okay. So you see what I'm doing here is I'm taking pictures of the top. You can see that the spine,
Holy crap.
you can see the shape of the coloring is there. So the spine is a little bit not straight.
Mm.
And I'm looking at the shoulders actually in this picture. I do a lot of before and afters if I can, because so you can see how her left shoulder is so much bigger than the other side.
Yeah.
So that means that she's got something going on that's tight. That's so that would be considered like a short leg on one side.
Wow.
So then in the other one, this is after probably about 4 or 5 sessions. It's still not 100% perfect, but at least now the two shoulders are looking even.
Wow. All right, I'm going to go back here. We're just sharing your screen and I'm opening up pictures. Oh, it wouldn't open.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. We'll find something else. Oh, here you are.
So that's my cattle sorting.
Wow. Who's this you're riding?
So her name is Rhea, and she's a 6-year-old quarter horse. She's bred out of a dual ray stud. So she's really nice and cowy, nice and quick footed.
Yeah, she looks like she'd be quick. Just her conformation and
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, is she a lucky horse. Both your horses are lucky. They got mom to do all their therapy and
yeah,
absolutely. Oh my
absolutely.
gosh.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They get spoiled.
What do you do more of, or do you keep, it's a combination of
I'm gonna say probably the most that I do is a combination between Bowen, the myofascial, and cranial. I don't think I mentioned that I do some cranial work as well. So it's usually and the tensegrity. So between the 4 of them, those are probably my biggest ones that I use a lot to try and get some balance back into the horse.
Well, we would love to see some video of you doing the actual work. If you could,
I would
supply
so
that.
I think I sent you a picture of some horse shapes there. So these are things like I look at. So, you know, when you got that big muscle, the hamstring muscle that sticks out and you can see the line coming down the side. So that normally means they're not using another muscle properly, because that muscle shouldn't be sticking out so far.
No kidding.
Right. And different little things like probably 95% of the time, if they have a part of their mane is hanging on one side and part of their mane is hanging on the other, it means that there's something tight in the neck or somewhere. Girthy horses quite often are muscles. If they don't pick up if they don't want to pick up one lead, there's a first rib and it's tucked in in behind the scapula. So I do a release on that to open that up and get that free again, so that the horse feels comfortable to get that leg up there and start on the proper lead for their canter. So there's all kinds of little things that I look at, you know, shoulders, it's the shape of the bum, because if they go like this and they dip in, that usually means, you know, that it can be some diaphragm work that needs to be done, because
No kidding.
they aren't holding, so that's where that tensegrity comes into, because they've lost that shape. Instead of being nice and round all over and they're sucked in the flanks, it usually can be some kind of a breathing, something stuck in their breathing and their diaphragm. So you got to get that moving properly so that they're breathing properly and everything is expanding at the same time, right? And some other little things like a stifle. A lot of people start injecting stifles, and a lot of times it's because they have a tight, it's called a psoas muscle, or going up into the sacrum, that muscle is too tight, so they can't use that back leg properly to get it working. So now that stifle is compensating and getting sore because the other muscles aren't working properly at the top that helped to carry that leg forward, right? So there's all kinds of little things that can look at and try and fix before, you know, people start getting into injections and butte and different things like that, right?
Absolutely.
But my biggest thing is just trying to educate people that you know, if you got a sore horse, or if you're sore, you need to do a few sessions. You just can't do one and expect it's going to be okay.
Right.
Because it took a long time to get it that way. It's going to take a long time to get it fixed as well, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So I always recommend, you know, 2 to 3 visits at least, closer together, because the more that you can get at it and change the memory of the muscle so that it goes back to the way that it should, instead of going back to that compensating pattern, is better. And then, you know, start doing some monthly or bi-monthly maintenance on your horse as well.
Absolutely. That is great.
I know it costs money, but it costs more money for a vet.
Absolutely. 100%. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. And just because you've got them feeling comfortable and everybody's I say everybody because all 4 of my horses get their therapies at the same time consistently. So, just because they seem okay, it's not the time to stop the maintenance. The maintenance,
No, that's right.
Purpose, and it keeps them comfortable. I know when the horses are way overdue for their electromagnetic therapies, like things just start changing, even hormonally with my mare, and her attitude about stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're there, we're at the cusp.
Absolutely.
You're a nice little girl and I want to, like, for sale, come and get her. No, it's not even for sale, come get her.
Yeah.
And I love her to pieces, but still, she's the mare. For some reason, you can relate, I'm sure. I am drawn to the redheaded mares, and I just keep, I have always consistently bought the young sorrel mares, fillies, because I don't know. I love that challenge of a thinking brain, right?
That's right. I like my mares too. Mine are all mares.
Yeah. They're just, you can't, it's not like and I don't mean to dumb down a stallion, I mean, a gelding, but to a certain degree, when you geld them, they're just kind of different, you know, the edge is gone, but a mare,
Yeah.
You gotta be
Always,
connected. You gotta be like
always keep you on your toes.
reading that. Okay. It's all right. We're not going to do that today. We're going to do something else. Okay.
Yeah.
She's like, I gave you fair warning. You didn't
Yeah.
listen.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Indeed.
I just can't iterate enough that, horse and rider really need to be in balance, because there's no point getting your horse fixed if you aren't,
Amen to
right?
that.
Because it's just going to put it back. And some of the other things too, just like maybe some tips for people is when they get their feet done,
Mm-hmm.
great time to have body work afterwards, because now their feet are level and back into the shape that they should be.
Yeah.
And your body work is gonna really show the effects of
Okay.
trying to get them balanced again. Anytime you have teeth done, great time to have body work done, because they're holding that, like how we are in the dentist, and you've got your mouth open for so long and you come out and your base is sore.
Sure.
Horses are too. So, but yeah, those are two good times to get body work done.
Okay, I'm going to write that down because I want to put that in the description box when this goes live. That this is a really critical. I'll also do it as text.
It is, because if you have a horse that is, say they're very well overdue and their hooves are starting to crack, you get body work done. So you're balancing the horse for the feet that they're on. And then they come and get a trim, and the trim is putting the horse back to where the feet should be. Then your body work could be a little bit off and need to be redone, because now we're balancing two different ways.
Makes perfect sense. Wow. See, this is why I love doing these interviews, because this is educational for me. It's not something I ever thought about. Ever.
Yeah.
No one ever brought that up to me. Like, hey, when is your horse having their teeth floated? When's their next trim? Let's schedule it for a few days afterwards,
Absolutely.
within the week after. No one has ever suggested that to me, and that makes perfect sense.
Well, you know what they say, no feet, no horse.
Same with us.
Right? And your feet can tell, the horse's feet can tell you a lot too about what's going on and how they're stepping and how, everything is looking around the cornet band and stuff like that. So there's lots and lots of things to look at when you're looking at a horse before you do therapy. And, it takes, the other thing is I think the difference between someone who, let's say they buy a book and they want to do some therapy on their horse at home, which I think is absolutely wonderful, but it takes years to get to know what it is that you're feeling and why it's moving and where it should be moving to. So there, because I do a lot of hand holds, but there's lots going on in there, and you have to develop that feel in your hands and your fingers to know when to take the hand off, when it's done its thing. And sometimes, people are always looking for that yawn, licking, chewing, which is a great benefit, but it doesn't mean that if they don't, the treatment isn't working, because everything is working on the ins, like things are still happening inside of that body, right?
Right.
So if they lick and chew, it's great, but if they don't think that your therapy isn't working.
Right, because your horses, my mare is not like my other three geldings when it comes to, even when I'm doing work with them, and the geldings are very quick to show me through a lick and chew that, oh, I get it. Okay, I'm calm, I'm comfortable, that's cool. She is very more like, she holds back.
Stoic. Yeah.
Yes, and I can see what's going on, and I'm like, you just got it, there's
Yeah.
that mayor thing again. You just got it. You don't want to show it. You're afraid I might.
Yeah.
Oh, yay, look. She's totally different. She is the stoic one, and the other three
Yeah.
are look to, we got it. Yeah, okay. So
yeah, I call some of them stall releasers, because once you put them away and there's nobody looking at them, then that's when they start doing all those things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't let, oh, is she looking?
Yeah. Now I can yawn. Now I can yawn.
Those brats. That's why we love them.
Oh
Why
my
don't we
gosh.
live in Connecticut?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Catherine, come for dinner.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, it's always amazing, the things that you learn. Like I've been around horses all my life, and since I've started actually doing therapy and looking at connections and stuff, it's just like, wow, how can the seat bone of the horse affect its pecs at the front, like
Sure.
those kind of things, like the connections are amazing.
And that's your expertise that we as clients pay for and look for. And as you said earlier, you're right. You've developed a feel and an intuitiveness to the work that you do, where,
That's
hey,
right.
I can't even count how many times I've seen horses shod, trimmed, and all that. Would I pick up a rasp and nippers and do my own horses?
Yeah.
Hell
No.
to the no.
Yeah.
Then I'd really be calling you like, get here now. I made a boo-boo. I wouldn't. And yet I've seen it done a million times. I don't have the feel. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the expertise. And that's why we pay the money that we do. And it is well worth it to provide the therapies and then maintenance to keep our horses happy, healthy, and willing. They don't, every living thing comes out of the womb wanting to please. Truly, they do. But it is through trauma and pain that humans, horses, all animals, all living beings shut down. And if they're like, do you notice I don't feel good, I hurt, and no one's noticing.
Horses do so much for us, and they work hard for us, and they're therapy for us, and they deserve to be feeling good as well if something happens to them. That's the way I feel. Like they do a lot for us. They work hard, and they do a lot of emotional stuff, all of it.
Absolutely.
I know I get emotional therapy every time I work on a horse, because I just get so much gratification that the horse's body is working properly again and starting to heal itself. Like I give the information, but it's the body that does all the work to get it better.
That's beautiful.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this.
Thank you very much for doing the interview. This is fantastic.
I love it. And I look forward to our continued connection.
Sounds great.
Realm of everything equine that we love so much. And we'll be in touch. Okay.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Namaste. Bye now.
Bye-bye.